I don't even know if I'm going to make a video about him. I think it's just going to be a article. All right. You're the last caller.
Yo,
Are you ready for this?
you are shitty at estimating how long it will take you to do projects, but I will teach you how to be better at it in the next 2 minutes.
Okay.
There's a thing called the planning fallacy, which says essentially that you, because you know what it takes to make a video and do interviews and investigate, will make poorer predictions of how long it will take you to do such a project than I will make because I know less, but I know how long it's taken you in the past. So instead of estimating how long it will take to do every aspect of the project and then adding it up, because that will overlook delays and differences and obstacles, you should just look at how long did this take me last time or the last 3 times in
But I've never
average,
done this before.
and then make adjustments.
Well,
Well, you've
wait.
done projects which have similarities.
Yeah, but the time it takes me to do this, the writing and research section of other projects like this, is shorter already than it's been. That's not the
Yeah.
writing of the thing isn't the time consuming part. The time consuming part is like assembling sources, then writing the thing. But then the main time consuming part is like actually putting together all the visual shit. But if there's no visual shit, it should be shorter. The problem is, what I didn't anticipate is the extreme hesitance of my sources. Usually when you're doing a research project, you talk to the person and that's it. It's usually not, you talk to them about what you're doing. You talk to them again. You DM with them. You talk to them again. You convince them, no, I'm not going to betray you. No, I'm not going to betray your confidence. Yes, I promise to keep this a secret. Yes, I'll do this. Yes, I'll do that. Also, I have like spies coming to me with fake stories that I then have to vet, which it's intentionally designed to waste my time. I know, but all it does is delay the article. I'm not going to print things that aren't true. Even if you try to trick me into doing it. And I don't know, I assume there's spies on Destiny's side, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're spies who hate Destiny, who I don't think getting me to print a fake thing about Destiny really hurts him though. So anyway, there's so many people trying to prevent me from writing this article that I'm just not used to that being part of the process. And I'm not used to my sources being completely terrified to talk to me. So it's all a bit slower than I anticipated.
I find it very surprising that you wouldn't anticipate that investigating a powerful person would find you with people trying to obstruct that task. But if that's the case, then the other advice I can give you in terms of making better predictions, because I don't think this situation is isolated to this project, is to look at how far off you have underpredicted your project completion times and then make an adjustment to that.
Is there a reason you want my predictions to be accurate?
Yeah, because
what is
your
that?
audience looks at them to create expectations on when they're going to get contact, and when they don't, it pisses them off. I'm in that audience, so I'm pissed off.
It's going to be about a month.
What gives you more confidence in that prediction than when you said that a month ago?
The investigation started on November 8th. That wasn't a month ago. That was like 24 days ago.
You're focusing on the wrong part of the question. What gives you more confidence than the last time you said a month ago, motherfucker?
Because it feels like I can feel it. It feels like it's about a month off.
Okay. What I'm trying to tell you is that feelings-based predictions are inaccurate.
I think that's true. That feels true. I don't know how long it's going to be, okay? I'm just completely guessing.
Okay. The second thing that I wanted to tell you is,
if I was Mr. Girl, I would stop giving time assessments if people started acting entitled like this. Is that what you want? Do you want no time assessment? Would you prefer no time assessments?
Yeah, absolutely. I would prefer that you went dark as soon as a project started and released it as a little nugget for your fans to enjoy.
I can't go dark.
By the way,
I got too much pressure on me.
By the way, I believe that your assertion that streaming does not affect your pace of scripted video release is delusional. And I think you should actually verify it by looking at the volume that you've released in the last year versus the previous four. I
Um,
can't do that because I don't have timestamps on your videos anymore.
it's no, it's true. It has, but I think there was a thing before when I would feel like I had to make a video um, just to keep posting stuff. Where now I feel like, well, also now that I'm banned, like I don't know, maybe I should. I don't know. I don't think it's just. I don't think it's just streaming, but I agree. My output is less, but also my videos are longer or more ambitious. I don't know.
I don't think that writing an expose on a streamer is more ambitious than improving race relations or gender understanding.
Well, it is in the word, in the sense that I'm using the word ambitious.
What is that sense?
Um, the scope of the project and the risks to me and the possible outcomes are all very heightened. It's a very high stakes project.
Got it.
And a lot of individual people are relying on me to not fuck it up.
Yeah, it's certainly more personal.
Well, I'm saying it's more ambitious, jackass.
Yeah, but you're defining that by being personal.
No, I'm saying that there. I'm not saying it's more personal. I'm saying that it's harder to do. It's easy to find people who talk about race relations and then put together a piece about race relations. I'm not saying that's not like it's a good thing. I think that's also an ambitious project, but this is more ambitious for me in the sense that it requires more skill and caution and kind of deftness to navigate not just the project but the assault on me that's happening while I'm trying to do the project. It's a much more difficult task. And if I fuck up, it's going to ruin my career. So everything has to be perfect. It has to be perfect.
The assault on you is a result of you doing it while being a streamer.
I wouldn't be able to do it if I weren't a streamer.
You wouldn't be able to testify to your own experience, but an
I
investigative
wouldn't have
journalist. Oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't have access. No, nobody would have talked to me if I weren't a streamer. I wouldn't have access to the community and all this information. I wouldn't even be able to understand what was happening if I weren't a streamer.
Perhaps you wouldn't, but are you saying that no one could?
I don't know.
The other thing that I wanted to tell you is it seems to me that your model of dealing with streamers is bound to fail in every instance in terms of burning bridges, because you use the same kinds of rhetorical flourishes when describing other people as you do yourself in your scripted content, and it puts them in a position where to tolerate it and their relationship to you, they would have to kind of count themselves in the worst people ever. I can give you a few examples.
I think that's a good idea.
Calling, saying that Erudite does not care about her clients, saying that Brittany Simon is a Nazi sex cult leader, saying that Destiny is
Yeah.
a sexual abuser.
Okay. What is your point?
That those things taken in the common meaning by a layperson would render those people utterly detestable.
Oh, I see. You're saying that speaking about people that way burns bridges.
It does. Also, I think it is deceptive. It doesn't mean to most people who hear it what you mean when you say it.
The Brittany thing I said to her. You think that people, when they heard that, thought that I meant something other than what I meant?
I think probably they knew some of what you meant, but the desire for self-preservation requires them to be much more acutely aware of how everyone else will take it.
That's not really an answer, though. If
Can you
she
restate your
said,
question?
yes, I was talking to Brittany Simon, and she said, I have the world organized, or I said, you have the world organized into level ones and twos and threes and fours and fives, and you said the ones are worthless people who should die, basically. Also, you give therapy-ish sessions, life coaching sessions, and you're a sex and you do sex work with your audience, and all these things are blended together. You're like a Nazi sex cult leader. I think I said something like that. Do you think that people hearing that in that context understood? What do you think they thought I meant? I thought they knew that I was saying based on what we just talked about, I'm describing you this way because you're. I think I explained it when I said it. I was saying, like, you think some people are worthless and should die. You are seen as somebody who has all the answers and encourage this view in your audience, and you engage with them sexually. Hence, Nazi cult sex.
Almost everyone believes that some people are so useless that they should die. When you say that someone is abusive, you make it very clear that what that means is that they are more abusive than the average person. So
You're not answering my question. You said that people heard me say that and they didn't know what I meant. And I'm
I am
saying,
answering your question.
well, I want you to answer specifically about Brittany Simon, because I didn't say she was abusive. I said you're like a
Yeah,
Nazi sex cult leader, or you are a Nazi
I'm
sex cult leader. But I explained what I was saying before and after, and the context of it was I was saying it to her. So I
I'm
don't. I
answering
think it's. I think
about
it's.
Brittany Simon.
Okay.
I
So then,
think
what
that
do you
when
think?
you said,
What do you think they
I
meant?
think when
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that when you said that she's a Nazi XX, what people thought you meant was that she is more of a Nazi than the average person, in the sense that she thinks that more people than the average person thinks are so useless that they should die. I believe that's not true.
I think it is true, but even if it weren't true, there's a difference between privately thinking that and advertising a system of dividing people up as a almost like a self-help system built around that idea.
Also, there's a difference between taking someone for some immutable characteristic and assuming that they're useless and should die, and assessing a person's entirety and determining that they're so useless that they should die. The former is what I would consider a Nazi attribute. The latter, not
The
as much.
Okay, well that's a different subject. I'm saying that even if everybody thinks some people should die, there's a difference between thinking that and then building a self-help system around that idea.
Yeah, those are different. I agree.
Okay, I think that's what I was calling her out for. Well, I do think that she thinks that way more than the average person, but what is especially unusual is that she is glorifying that she thinks that and advertising it and trying to get more people to think that way in general.
Okay.
As far as the immutable characteristic thing, yeah, I agree. That's a difference.
Um,
That, but also I wasn't
moving
so.
off.
I just think it's bullshit that you're saying that people didn't know what I meant when I said that. I think they knew what I fucking meant because I explained it when I said it, and they saw it in the content. It wasn't like I just said like tweeted out Brittany Simon is a Nazi sex cult leader, fill in the blanks. It was like the result of talking to her about it and her saying I don't see the problem with this, and me getting more and more exasperated and finally being like, this is the problem. You're like a Nazi sex cult leader. Like, it's really fucked up.
Yeah, I disagree with how most people would interpret that interaction, but I
Okay.
think the more clear example is calling Destiny a sexual abuser or saying that he sexually abused people, because to almost everyone, that term refers to acts against children. At least every time I've ever heard it before. It does not refer to emotionally abusing someone that you have had sex with.
The phrase I've landed on is sexual misconduct. I think that is the perfect phrase to describe Destiny's behavior with Anna.
I don't think the reaction would have been as poor if that were the phrase that you started with rather than the phrase that you landed on.
I think that you are completely wrong.
Fair enough.
I don't think they care what phrase I use.
Uh,
DGG will latch on to anything you say that is critical of Destiny and swarm you if he signals for them to do so.
what is the signal?
In this case, a stream titled I'm Nuclear and then ranting about how I'm a rapist and how I'm the worst person he's ever met, the craziest person he's ever met, how he's never going to be able to make friends again because of how much I betrayed him, and so forth.
I suspect that was coterminous with your use of the term sexual abuse.
I don't think it matters what terms I use to his audience or to
I
him.
think that's clear from this discussion.
I think it matters in terms of Destiny has attacked and his audience has dogpiled people for far less. So I think that the defensive white blood cell reaction comes first and the rationalization or justification for it comes after.
Sounds like you're taking away your agency in this situation by saying that.
I don't think I'm taking away my agency. I'm saying that he is a cult leader that attacks people who criticize him.
I think
I'd like to.
you criticized him a lot over the last year.
Yes. And he dogpiled me a lot over the last year. But this latest criticism is an existential threat.
I don't think criticism of emotional abuse is an existential threat.
Sexual misconduct is.
Sexual misconduct is if it implies some kind of non-consensual activities.
Maybe. I think it might be an existential threat anyway.
All right. I'm done.
I think telling me I'm taking my own agency away is a very sneaky, underhanded response to me saying they're going to just attack me and dogpile me no matter what I say. What I say will be like any abuser. What you say is just, you get to choose what thing they are screaming at you while they're hitting you or attacking you or whatever. You get to choose the ostensible reason that you're being abused, but it's not. It doesn't actually matter what you say.
It's not underhanded. It's definitionally true. If you say, no matter what I do, X will happen,
Underhanded and definitional.
You are taking away.
Underhanded and definitionally true are not mutually exclusive. It is still underhanded.
Where's
what
the
you're saying? What you're
underhandedness?
because what you're really saying is that Destiny doesn't attack people for no reason. Destiny doesn't attack people
No.
just because Destiny doesn't attack people just because he feels threatened, or DGG doesn't swarm people when Destiny feels threatened. You're saying to have agency, to give myself agency, I should blame myself for the onslaught of harassment that I'm experiencing. But I don't. I don't blame myself for it.
Not exclusively, but you should have a hand in it. You should say that.
Yeah,
Depending on what you say and what you do, that will.
But you asked
affect
me.
the
You asked me. You
reaction.
asked me how it was underhanded, and the way I'm explaining it is that you're saying that the real strong, self-protective way to look at this would be to give myself agency. But I don't think that's true. I think the opposite is true. I think that the healthiest way to look at this is to say like, hey, look, and I'll say this to anybody getting dogpiled by DGG. It doesn't matter what you say. You can't explain it away.
So what you're saying is you have no agency, but it's bad to say it.
No, I'm not saying I have no agency. I'm me saying that I'm getting dogpiled, that DGG is dogpiling me to protect Destiny isn't saying I have no agency. I'm saying that when somebody is decided to dogpile you and smear you, that all the things that they're attacking me with are all like reach, like they're calling me Mr. Rapist.
I think what you're doing is underhanded.
Oh, well, if what I'm doing is underhanded, it must mean that what you're doing isn't underhanded.
Well, let me explain why.
I don't want you to explain it. I want you to listen to what I'm saying.
I am. I'm responding to it.
I don't want you to respond. I just want you to listen.
Then there's no reason for me to be calling.
Okay, then leave.
All right.
All right.